All right. Thank you for being part of Explore Building Trades 2023 in this career chat. All attendees are muted, but we encourage you to use the chat function to ask questions or share comments. Educators, please drop your school, class name, and number of students in the chat. This session is for 15 minutes, and we've got a list of questions for our guests, but we welcome yours. We want to thank all of our sponsors for 2023's Explore Building Trades, including our premier partner, St. Joseph Valley Building Trades Association. You can find the full list of partners on the Building Trades landing page, along with many resources we hope you'll check out to learn more about the wide variety of building trades careers and education pathways in our region, the products they create, and the exciting careers available. I'm Reagan Ward, the Education Workforce Coordinator at the Chamber, and I'm excited to welcome Mike and Jason as our guests for this chat. Let's get started. So to start off, tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, what's your position, and how did you get to your position?
My name is Jason Hanley. On the sheet metal division side of DA Dodd. Graduate of Clay, South Bend Clay. Been doing this for 26 years. I got into this because my father was in the trade and my grandfather, and just been basically doing this for forever. And I'm forming for DA Dodd and just finishing up the South Bend Casino Fort Winds project this week.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And my name's Mike Myers. I've been in the trades for about 35 years. Again, same. My grandfather was in the trades. His father was. So it just kind of trickled down. I've been in the office as service manager for about 2 years now. In charge of 31 field techs, lead, and that's how my story rolls.
Awesome, thank you. So just to get a better understanding of your positions, what do you both do on like a day-to-day basis?
So I'm usually out on the job sites, and I have a crew of guys. I got apprentices and some journeymen, and I handle pretty much the direction of flow of the job site, making sure everything's installed right in a timely manner, because on job sites, there is a time frame where you have to maintain, especially on a fast-paced project. And it takes certain individuals to take that leadership role. And believe me, it's taken some time for me to get into that role, but I've just learned from I called them the old timers when I was a kid, so now I'm an old timer. So, but for the most part, I just learned from what those guys did. And then that's what I usually do on a day-to-day basis. Everything's different. Every day is different. It's not the same thing. It's not like a factory. So every day there's a different task. So it's not repetitious over and over again where it could be boring. So it's definitely every day is a different adventure, and you're learning something new, on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, thank you.
And as far as my role as service manager, I work with the customers and our dispatcher to make sure that everybody is out and our customers are being taken care of. I also, and one of the things that I like most about my job is it allows me to get out in the field and work with the younger guys and help train them up. I came from the field and I enjoy being out there. My boss has a tendency to tell me I throw on the cape and run out too quickly. So.
Gotcha. Well, thank you. So in our little pre-chat before we started the webinar, I know we mentioned that you have sheet metal and HVAC apprenticeships. Can you just kind of talk about those, what those involve, and how you start doing that?
So on the sheet metal side, a lot of people probably don't know what sheet metal is. Everybody thinks it's just a piece of metal. But in actuality, it's ductwork, which, to break it down to a simpler version, if you go in your basement at your house and you got your furnace, the metal that's coming off of it, that's ductwork. So our shop here at DA Dodd, we fabricate that, and then we take it out to buildings on job sites such as schools, Notre Dame, new buildings. We install that, and we have an architectural side as well. There's a couple companies in this area that feature that a lot more than what we do, but we do architectural as well. Our apprenticeship is a 5-year program. You get a associate's degree. You take a 2 class course. It's like throughout your 5-year deal. In the apprenticeship, you go through Ivy Tech, and it's only for a couple hours a night, like once or twice a week a night. You get associate's degree in technical science out of this. And then our schooling, some trades are different, but ours goes 1 day a week for so the first year would be on a Monday, second year is a Tuesday, third year is a Wednesday, and so forth. And you get paid to go to school, six hours of pay out of an 8-hour day. So you're not losing any money, and then you're still not losing work during the week as well. So, I mean, it's actually a great program. I mean, especially if you're undecided on what you want to do in school, I highly recommend this, because at the end of the day, you got three things. You got a career, you got benefits, which are included in your 401k, you got annuity fund, you got 2 pensions, you got a vacation fund, and your insurance, which is huge nowadays. So you got to factor in a lot of that stuff. And the pay is actually really good. So for instance, if a high school kid gets out and he wants to get in, I mean, the pay is really good. And it's not like, you're going to stay at that rate. So every 5 to 6 months, you get an increase in the journeyman's rate. So, you may start out, say, I think we start at 21 bucks an hour. In 6 months, you get another 50 cents. And before you know it, in the 5-year program, you'll see the difference. And sometimes, you'll have a smile on your face at the end of the day,
Do you need a high school diploma to start an apprenticeship?
Yeah, I mean,
Or probably GED.
or a GED, yes. Yep.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
And the associate's degree is paid for.
Yeah,
in the process
associates,
as well,
yeah.
So no financial aid, no student loans.
Yep. Yeah, you'll come out with no student debt whatsoever, even with Ivy Tech.
Well, that's good to know. So what's the best part of your job, and why do you go to work every day?
Best part of the job for me, I think, is the interaction with other trades and the friendships. Like, I couldn't tell you how many friends I've met throughout the 26 years of the trade. And me, for myself, it has to do with my father and my grandfather, because they did a lot of work out at Notre Dame. My dad helped the first expansion of the Notre Dame Stadium, which I got to work with him and be a part of that my first year in apprentice, which I'm a huge Notre Dame fan, so I'm always fascinated with the campus of Notre Dame and just how the structure of all the buildings and how everything's assembled. But taking that sense of pride and installing the stuff and looking back and going, man, I was a part of this project. And yeah, the other thing is, if you take pride in what you're doing, the outcome in the future is going to be better for you. Your bosses will start noticing that, and you'll move up in the ranks. And there's room to prosper. I should say, especially here at DA Dodd. It's a bigger company, and it's family orientated, and they look into what you're doing, and if you're doing it right, there's room for you to prosper and expand and move up into this company. So, which is very important, I feel like.
And for me, it's probably working with the younger guys, the apprentices, being able to teach them and help them forge their future, help them keep a roof over their head, help them feed their family. I take a lot of pride in that. And why I like coming in every day is because I like feeling like I'm part of something bigger than myself. And that's what Dodd's all about. Jason said it. It's a great company to work for. They're very family oriented. Everybody helps and supports each other, which goes a long way at the end of the day.
So this kind of bounces off your questions. Is there any job site that's been super memorable for you, and why has it been memorable?
Well, I can tell you, Like I said, I've probably been running work for about 17, 18 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, this past job at the Four Winds Casino, this is the biggest project I've ever done. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, I think it was like a $5 million sheet metal job. And
Wow.
that's just sheet metal. That's not even the mechanical side, Mike and them. But I mean, to have that on your chest and people relying on you and
Mm-hmm.
and we're coming out and we accomplished it in a timely manner. And I mean, tomorrow they're opening it up, March 1st. It's opening up to the public. So we've done our due diligence and we made the tribe proud, and that's the biggest accomplishment. I mean, I got other ones, but this one here, hands down, is probably the best one I've done.
And for me, the memorable would be the furthest service call that Dodd's ever done. Dodd sent me over to Afghanistan
Mm-hmm.
for about a month. And it was just an amazing experience working at a temporary consulate, doing startup on some equipment.
That sounds really interesting. Wow. So now we have a question from the audience that asks, has DA Dodd seen an increased interest for opportunities for women?
Very much so. We've had at least 3 service techs in the field over the course of the years that were female. Very strong, confident people. And I think actually you guys even have larger numbers.
Yeah, we do. Our sheet metal local, we do have large number of women, and they work hard. They're very bright. I actually had one at the casino work for us for 6 or 7 months, and she did very well. She was a tribal member, so she wasn't sure if she wanted to be in the trade or not. But it's different when you're working with Four Winds Casino. If they're tribal members, they have that choice to pick a trade. She picked our trade for a while, and she thought it was really fine and good, but it just didn't work out for her, as far as what she was wanting to do. But yeah, I mean the opportunity's there, and we do have some 3 or 4 women, I believe. One, I think, just started. I think she's a second-year apprentice. She's from Valparaiso High School, I believe, and she's doing great things. She works for Midland Engineering though.
Gotcha. Thank you. So just to kind of wrap this up, do you have any advice for those interested in a career in the trades, or what are some 3 takeaways that you have for our audience members?
For me, to give you advice, I would start thinking about, especially if you guys are juniors and seniors, think about what you really want to do. Because I was in their position 26, 27 years ago. I went to Clay. I wanted to become a football coach. I ended up coaching at Clay High School football for 7 to 8 years until my old coaches retired. But at the same time, I was working, doing sheet metal and taking night classes to get a degree. Well, then I started putting apples to oranges and seeing what the outcome would look better and pay and everything. And I ended up taking the sheet metal side just because I knew in the long run I had a date, I can retire and the packages and everything were good, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Don't ever hesitate to ask questions. I mean, I would go to our union hall. We got a great instructor. I graduated with him. He can break down everything that any individual wants to ask,
And not to step out of line, but Dodd itself will, and correct me if I'm wrong, Allison, we will set up tours
Absolutely.
to where if you're interested, you can come on. Jason was just talking about how they did it a couple of years back out at Notre Dame on the job site. Our facility, we will open up and allow the kids to come in and kind of talk to them a little more personal, and kind of give them an idea of what really goes on a day-to-day. The 3 takeaways, I would say, keep in mind that college is not always the same path for everybody. Trades is a very good way of making a living and being proud and building for your future. Jason hit on it numerous times with the retirement, the insurance. It's second to none.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know, and the other one would be education. And I've always said it, and I believe in it. Once you get an education, that's yours. No one can ever take it away from you. It's yours for the rest of your life. So get as much as you can, as often as you can, because that's going to make you more valuable throughout whatever career you choose.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Jason and Mike, thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for sharing your story. We'll just wait a moment or two to see if there's any questions in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and give some closing remarks. Alrighty, so thank you again, and thank you for sharing your story. Students, be sure to check out all the Building Trades career chats we'll be adding to the landing page to learn from other employers, educators, and community partners who are providing career pathway support and opportunities in our region, and share what you find interesting with the adults in your life. Thank you again, and hope to see everyone in the webinar soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.